Happy Monday, Antelope Valley. I hope everyone is well and that you had a nice weekend. It is August 12th, 2024. I am Mark Troth, broker co-owner of Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Troth Realtors, right here in Lancaster, California, bringing you this week's version of the Antelope Valley Real Estate Market Snapshot, where week in and week out, we take a look at exactly what's going on here in our local real estate market. As I mention every week, Phil, it's important that residents and property owners here in the Antelope Valley have a trusted local resource to follow along with our local real estate market. Our market is definitely unique unto itself, and often our statistics get lumped in with greater Los Angeles County, Southern California, et cetera. And as I mentioned, our market is definitely unique, does its own thing when sometimes markets are doing something entirely different. And before we get into this week's statistics, I also like to point out that our statistics are courtesy of the Greater Antelope Valley Association of Realtors. But just real quick before we get into statistics, been a lot of stuff out in the press right now about the National Association of Realtor settlements and what this means to sellers' commissions, buyers' commissions, and what effect it has on transactions and moving forward. And glad to answer any of those questions you might have. I know I'll get stopped if I'm out and about here in the valley and get some questions. Hey, what's this mean? What's exactly going on? Glad to have that conversation with you. And so with that, let's go ahead and get into the statistics as we start August 12th. Let me pull up our first slide here. We continue to see inventory grow week after week. Last week it took just a slight rollback, but this week we're back up again, 766 active residential listings on the market as we start this week, up 2% from where we were last week when we were at 751. I believe that 766 will be a high watermark for the last 2.5, 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. From 4 weeks ago, July 15th, we were at 736, so we're up a little over 4% from 4 weeks ago. And this time last year, August 14th of 2023, we're up 28.3%. We were under 600. And so my thought is we're going to continue to see that inventory level grow. We're hitting that point where a lot of folks that had 2.5, 2.75, 3% mortgage rates, they've been putting off making a move, getting on with their plans, thinking that we were going to see rates come back down somewhere into that rate with, you've heard a lot of called the locked-in effect. And we're just seeing folks slowly just say, you know what, it's not going to happen. So let's just get on with our plans and get our house listed and on the market. So let's go into next what we refer to as the pending properties, those properties that are under contract and in escrow. Nice little bump up from where we were last week, 435, up 4.1% from last week when we started the week at 418. Down though from July 15th when we were at 445, so down 2%. So that number kind of been bouncing around in that local 4s. I thought for a bit we may see it drop below 4, and the last 3-4 weeks it's kind of been like the stock market, up, down, but yet a steady growth upward. From this time last year, we finally have exceeded where we were in 2023. And on August 14th of 23, we were at 420. So that's 3.6%, or 435 is 3.6% higher than where we were a year ago. So let's go ahead and get into slide number 2. And as I mentioned, good number of properties coming on the market. Last week, the week of August 5th through the 11th, 100 new residential properties came on the market, up just under 10% from where the week prior. Pending's down just a little bit, down 8.9%, down 7. I have a feeling that there's probably a number of pendings being processed today that'll bring that number back up, but down just a bit, still a pretty decent week. median number of days those pendings were on the market, still under 30. Been a while since we've exceeded 30 is the median number of days on the market. So still shows we're in somewhat of a healthy market, that if a good property comes on the market, priced decently, good condition, that there are buyers willing to make a move fairly quick. A little bit of a weird number here. Residential listings sold. Didn't expect this. Down 39% from the week prior at 45. I'm just wondering kind of if maybe there's some late reporting going on through some of those that closed on Friday. I know internally here we had a number of closings on Friday. And so those probably aren't going to show up into MLS until later on today, as being reported by the agents. And so nothing I think to be overly concerned about, just every now and then with statistics. You have that outlier out there that's just kind of a little bit difficult to explain, so we won't try to explain it. And so our median sales price still just very close to that 500,000 range, bumped up 1% from the week prior when those closings, median price of those closings, 490, basically identical to what the median list price of those properties that closed were. And so it's been a pretty decent sign that we're sticking above that 465, 470 mark. And so still not a lot of downward pressure on pricing, regardless of what you're reading out in the national media and stuff, talking about, some rollbacks, some major rollbacks in some areas. We're just not seeing it here yet. A little bit of flexibility on some properties. But for the most part, our sales prices are hanging in there, which is good news for sellers. Saw a little bit of a decrease in interest rates. So last week, sellers continue to do good, and now buyers are doing a little bit better with that decrease in mortgage rates. So with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this week's version of the Antelope Valley Real Estate Market Snapshot. If there's any other statistics information that you might like, by all means, please feel free to reach out to me. Glad to answer your questions, myself or any of our trusted associates here at Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Troth Realtors, where we've proudly been serving the Antelope Valley since 1957. All right, everybody, take care. Make it a great week, and we'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.